This video is about the Arab Republic of Egypt and some information about Egypt. The Egyptian Arabic Republic. The Arab Republic of Egypt is considered one of the most densely populated countries in the Middle East, and it ranks 14th in the world in terms of population. As its population is 101.17 million people, according to the statistics of 2019 AD, with a population density of 84 people per square kilometer, as the population of Cairo, the capital of Egypt, is approximately 10.902 million people, with a population density of 46,349 people per square kilometer. Egypt is the most densely populated country in Africa after Nigeria and Ethiopia. Egypt climate. Egypt is part of the desert belt located in the north of the African continent, and therefore the country's climate is characterized by its extremes. As precipitation levels decrease, continuous changes in diurnal and seasonal temperatures are observed, and it is indicated that the country is sunny most of the year, and the climate in Egypt can be divided into three main types. Mediterranean climate on the northern coast. This climate includes both the regions of Alexandria and Marsa Matruh, and the weather during the winter season is moderately cold and similar to the spring season. It is characterized by high temperatures and humidity alike. Desert climate in the interior. The climate of the interior regions during the summer season is often similar to the desert climate, in terms of very high temperatures and low rates of rain. Temperatures increase towards the south, and the sun's rays are scorching during the day. The weather will be mild during the day and cold at night, and temperatures will witness a significant decrease in their rates. The climate of the Red Sea coast. Like the coast of Hurghada, which is very similar to the climate of the interior regions in terms of lack of rain, except that the temperatures are lower and the humidity is higher. Due to the presence of the sea, however, the coast may witness hot and dry summer days if winds blow from the desert. The Egyptian Arabic Republic. The Arab Republic of Egypt is considered one of the most densely populated countries in the Middle East, and it ranks 14th in the world in terms of population. As its population is 101.17 million people, according to the statistics of 2019 AD, with a population density of 84 people per square kilometer, as the population of Cairo, the capital of Egypt, is approximately 10.902 million people, with a population density of 46,349 people per square kilometer. Egypt is the most densely populated country in Africa after Nigeria and Ethiopia. Geography in Egypt. Egypt is a transcontinental country. It owns a land bridge linking Asia and Africa, as it shares its borders with Libya to the west, Sudan to the south, and Palestine to the east, while the Mediterranean Sea borders its northern coast, and the Red Sea its eastern coast, and it ranks 30th among countries the world in terms of area, as its area is 1,001,450 square kilometers. Egypt includes parts of the Sahara Desert and the Libyan Desert, so the landscapes are dominated by the sandy desert, while the winds that blow form some sand dunes that can reach a height of up to 30.5 meters, and the temperatures in them range from 27 to 32 degrees Celsius in summer, and between 13 to 21 degrees Celsius in the winter, and the Khamsine winds often blow from southern Egypt in the spring or summer, bringing sand and dust with them, while the temperature of the desert rises to more than 38 degrees Celsius, and it is noteworthy that Egypt is considered the lowest country in the world in terms of rainfall, so it depends on the Nile River for water. Ancient history of Egypt. Egypt is considered one of the very ancient heritage countries, as it bears the longest extended history. As its history is estimated at 7,000 years, and what helped Egypt's history to continue and diversify is the Nile River that cuts its lands, as it encouraged people throughout the ages to reside in Egypt and establish ancient civilizations. So during this article we will present some historical information about Egypt. Information about the history of Egypt. Information about the history of Egypt. In the year 2772 BC, the Egyptians knew the annual calendar, so they divided the year into 365 days. King Djoser built his stepped pyramid, known today as the Pyramid of Saqqara, in 2700 BC, and King Khufu built the Great Pyramid in 2560 BC, and this pyramid ranked first as the highest building in the world until the 13th century. Thebes Palace at the moment was considered the capital of Egypt in 2050 BC. Cats were tamed to catch snakes in 2000 BC, and Egypt made remarkable progress this year in predicting the timing of floods, as well as in astronomy. The Egyptian Empire, which is called the modern state, was founded by King Thutmose III, who took over the leadership of Egypt in 1426 BC. The call for monotheism began during the reign of Akhenaten in 1375 BC, when people were forbidden to worship the sun, and in the same year the capital moved from Thebes' palace to Tel El Amarna, and these combined events led to the disintegration of many parts of the Egyptian empire. The Battle of Kadesh broke out on the eastern borders of the country under the leadership of King Ramses II, who was defending the country from the Hittite invasion, but this war ended with a peace agreement between Ramses and the Hittite king in 1285 AD, and this agreement is the first peace agreement written down in history. Tourism in Egypt. The tourism sector in Egypt is considered one of the most important and prominent sectors in the Egyptian economy, which attracts millions of tourists annually. According to 2015 figures, the Egyptian tourism sector contributed in total with 112.1 billion Egyptian pounds, 14,334,271,350 billion dollars, contributing 11.4% of the country's GDP. In the same year, tourism investments amounted to $2,158,144,050 billion, thus constituting 12.5% of the total investments in the country. Tourist spending in Egypt in 2015 amounted to 57.5 billion Egyptian pounds, 3,173,741,250 billion dollars, contributing 20.7% to the country's GDP. The tourism sector in Egypt also contributed to providing 2,620,000 job opportunities, or 10.5% of the total number of workers. Plant and animal life in Egypt. The forms of plant and animal life in Egypt vary greatly, and this contributes to a balance in environmental life. As the types of plants reach more than 250 species, most of them appear in tropical and subtropical regions, papyrus plants, and despite Egypt's lack of forests, it contains vast groves of palm trees and citrus fruits, and cypress and eucalyptus trees have been cultivated on large areas of them. 10. Spread across the country many types of animals, such as sheep, goats, and camels. As for wild animals, they are rather few, with the exception of hyenas, jackals, and lynxes, where they are abundant in Egypt, and in addition to that, about 300 species of birds fly in the sky of Egypt, most of which are raised for breeding purposes. As for water wealth, the waters of Egypt are rich in thousands of species of fish and mollusks, and it also contains one of the most beautiful coral reefs in the world, which is a source of attraction for divers, and other diverse life forms such as insects and microorganisms, with more than 1.4 million species out of 10 million species that have not yet been classified. Economy in Egypt. Most of the economic activity in Egypt is located around the Nile Valley, and its economy depends mainly on agriculture, tourism, media, petroleum exports, cotton exports, textiles, mineral products, and chemicals, and the information technology sector in Egypt has been stimulated by Egyptian entrepreneurs in addition to continued government encouragement. Egypt's natural resources. Egypt contains many important natural resources, which gives its location additional importance, including the following: oil and natural gas. Egypt contains quantities of oil and natural gas, and it exports a large part of it to a number of neighboring countries. It also attracts sums of money from its oil reserves represented in the annual revenues resulting from the profits due from export. Oil fields have been opened at the bottom of the Sea, Mediterranean, which helped to revive oil export activities in Egypt, and Egypt's previous oil reserves amounted to about 3.7 million barrels, but at the present time this rate has doubled. Minerals and other natural resources. Egypt contains several minerals, including iron, phosphate, manganese, limestone, gypsum, asbestos, and zinc. It is worth noting that these minerals contributed to the prosperity of the Egyptians in ancient times. Honey. Egypt has been famous for beekeeping since ancient times. With the aim of producing honey and wax, Egyptian honey was famous for its use for medicinal purposes, and lotus flower honey is considered the most expensive type of honey found in Egypt. Papyrus. The Egyptians were famous for their pioneering in the manufacture of paper based on papyrus. This brought them great profits, and it should be noted that they kept the method of manufacturing this paper for themselves and did not tell anyone how to make it. Nile River. The Nile water is considered one of the best Egyptian natural resources. where its water is used in the cultivation of the land and the production of hydroelectric power, and this river is one of the most important factors that helped the development and prosperity of the Egyptian civilization. Fish. There are many sources of fishing in Egypt. Perhaps the most prominent of them are Lake Nasser, the Gulf of the Suez Canal, and the Nile River. There are also a variety of fish species in them. Fishermen have been keen to invest in the fish farming sector in order to increase productivity. This sector has witnessed rapid growth since its inception. If you like the video, please subscribe to the channel and activate the bell button to receive all new updates.